I think it's also just important to point out in terms of Florida. You look what's going on in other states. They're letting hysteria drive them to doing really damaging things. We thought that people had learned. They're closing schools. They're doing things that should not be done, and that is not the way you deal with this. And so, we are 100% committed to making sure that people are able to live their lives, that our kids are able to get an education, that people's businesses are able to operate, and that people have jobs. And so that is just non-negotiable, and you got to do it. And when Joe Latipo first came on board in September, he said that there's no place for fear when you're doing the policy. You got to deal with this rationally. I think that particularly given the clinical profile so far of Omicron, there's not justifiable to let fear overwhelm you. I mean, this is something where we're seeing dramatically less clinical results, negative clinical results compared to what we saw with Delta. It doesn't mean that we don't want to do all we can to help the people who need the help, and that's why we're doing this. That's why we set aside so much money. That's why we've mobilized and done all the things we do, and we'll continue to do more as the federal government empowers us to be able to do it. But man, you can't let go down that road, because that is a road they're just never going to be able to get out of that rut, and it's just going to continue to hurt a lot of people, and it ain't going to do anything to slow down or to stop a incredibly contagious airborne virus. I mean, come on. And so we're going to be there for folks. We're going to make sure. But as Joe Latipo said, that's across the board. Kids that are in school thriving means a healthier community. People that can put food on the table means healthier families. And so we're not going to waver on that. We were, my wife and I were able to come down on New Year's Eve, go visit Hard Rock Stadium. People were having a good time, and they were living their lives. And so we've got to continue to do that, and you can't let any type of hysteria undercut the normal functioning of society.
AOC was seen regarding maskless. Here in Florida, she think critical of your policy.
Well, I mean, look, I think if I had $1 for every lockdown politician who decided to escape to Florida over the last 2 years, I'd be a pretty doggone wealthy man, let me tell you. I think a lot of Floridians say, wait a minute, you're bashing us because we're not doing your draconian policies, and yet we're the first place you want to flee to basically to be able to enjoy life.
Democrats are criticizing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for being, quote, missing during the state's COVID spike. New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's on vacation in the Sunshine State, claiming his social media team is posting old pictures.
DeSantis' office clearing the air on the matter, telling Fox News the governor has been accompanying his wife, Casey, to her cancer treatment.
How big of a failure have vaccine passports been? Okay, if vaccine passports succeeded, you would not see a lot of the stuff that you're seeing in a lot of states that implemented them. And so all it served to do was discriminate against people based on an individual choice, create a two-tiered society. And yes, they are moving, like I said a couple months ago, they are moving to update that to say, in some parts, they're going to say you need a third shot to be able to do. So those policies have not worked, and I think ultimately, look, people vote with their feet. I always say I'm so happy with our Floridians. I'm not asking for people to come move, because we've got great people, we've got a lot of great stuff going on. I think we're going to do a lot more great stuff. But the fact of the matter is, if you look from July of 2020 to July of 2021, we led the country in where people were wanting to come to. And I think that that's a result of protecting people's freedoms and making sure that we had a state worth living in.